Yes, yes. So welcome and thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me. So we good to go?
Yeah.
Cool. Should I stand? Am I in the shot?
Whatever was comfortable.
Yeah. Okay. So, it's January. It feels warm outside, but we're at the beginning of the year, and I think you brought up prosperity. We're all feeling a lot of hope, and today I'm here to talk to you about making this year the best financial year of your life. My focus as a financial coach is to blend the mindset with the action, because that's where real change happens. It's not about making money for the sake of it. Like, I want you guys to feel like full, empowered, and happy with your life, and not like stressed and tired, just grinding, you know? So, let's begin. Imagine dream travel, family time, quality time with your partner, with your kids, fancy clothes.
Not for me.
Yeah. A nice car, you know, being able to invest in yourself and your self-development and your business's growth, maybe upgrading your house. These are all the things that I hear people talk about as like financial goals. And most likely if you did a vision board or you set goals this year, some of these things are probably on there. I mean, these are all kind of what people aspire to have. And I want that for all of you guys. But as we start to go towards these visions, I myself can attest, I can feel some overwhelm sometimes. And it can be like the dream feels so far out. Like, I'll speak, my vision board has like these stone houses and like glistening water, and it's like, how, that is so far away from here. Like, how am I gonna get from point A to point B? It feels overwhelming. And even if I can break down all the steps, I might not have the money or time to like do it as fast as I want to do it. So if you find yourself in this position, this is what I'm going to talk about today. So if you could, think of what's on your vision board and what you're headed for this year, and maybe consider what's stopping you from taking action on that. I find in my work that what stops us from having what we want can be distilled to a belief that we have. And the beliefs that we have around what's possible for us in our life were formed in our childhood and from our experiences leading up to this point. It's natural for us to believe what's possible for me going forward is based on what has happened in the past. But probably to get to the level that you want to be on your vision board, you're going to have to think in a new way now. And what I can find is when people look at their vision board, they might start to think these narratives. And these are just some examples. Like, maybe you've made investments in the past, or you've endeavored to make good investments, but it wasn't actually a good investment. You lost money, you went into debt, so that might make you afraid to invest in something now. Or maybe you're afraid that if you improve your life, that's going to change your relationships with people in your life right now. Like, you won't be able to relate to people in the same way. Your friends won't, you know, like the habits that you're going to need to do, your friends are still like partying and like, you know, like they aren't willing to put in the work like that. What is going to happen? Or you lack the financial knowledge necessary to be financially savvy. And I think all of these can go back to just what experiences you had with money when you were a kid, and or your community right now. What are your friends' experiences with money? We tend to repeat patterns until we know the pattern and break it. So, financial success is more than numbers. Our beliefs around money shape the way that we interact with money. So like what I'm saying is like, are you thinking about your money life right now from like a past version of yourself, or from this version that you need to be to manifest what's on your vision board? That's what we want to get to. So expand your beliefs around money, then take the steps of financial action. So that's why I'm going to start with some financial beliefs. And I guess I should ask you guys, what beliefs do you have around money right now, around what's possible in your life with money? So some examples are like what's on this board right now, like, I deserve to spend money, or money is bad, or money is stressful. Like, do you guys have anything right now that's coming up around your beliefs around money?
I think for me, like going back into my 20s, it was like very stressful, right? Because you think from lack of mindset rather than an abundance mindset.
Totally.
So going into the season I'm in, it was like having to completely transform my relationship with money.
Mm.
And now I see it as a resource rather than having an emotional attachment to it. And so once you see it as a resource, you detach yourself and like, let's say today you have $10. I'm just like, tomorrow I'm gonna have 40. You know what I mean? Because there's something coming in.
Mm.
So I think just tapping into that energy and also knowing that there's a endless amount of resources that can get you to meet your financial goals.
Yes.
It's just getting to the right source.
Totally.
So that's how I view it.
I agree.
Yeah, and I mean, I heard like you do like credit work, like you said, so like you probably know from your perspective like how to help people in a way that they might not expect, you know. So it's partially too just understanding what resources are available to us, what strategies are available, but like you have to believe first, like you said.
I can relate to the lack of, like,
Yeah.
I grew up in that certain sense, and then understanding my relationship with money, how it's like varied throughout the years, also depending on the positions I'm in my life. So it all kind of comes down. And I'd say for me, I think, and also with me, I know her, so we have actually had a bit of a conversation about this. It's not about the fear of making money, it's the fear of saving enough money and getting to the point where now I don't have to worry too much anymore.
Yeah.
Losing that worry aspect is where I think I lack, because I worry too much, and I'm always like just trying to stay on top of it, but too much going on.
Right. Yeah, you might be in this like not enough money fears thing, like there will never be enough money, or maybe what you're saying is like, is it an insecure, like, or like not knowing,
I
like,
mean,
am I
that's pretty
saving
much
enough?
it. It always seems like it's not enough.
Yeah.
You know, even though I'm really blessed and feel really good where I'm at, but it's like still never seems like enough. But I think it has to do a lot with my childhood.
Mm.
Yeah, I think that's where a lot of people are at. Because when I have conversations, even with like investors, they're like, oh, but what if I run out of the savings that I have, right? And I do think it's that mindset of, like, in my mind, right? I think as an investor, I'm like, okay, the worst thing that can happen is that my company goes bankrupt, not me, right? So that's the worst thing that can happen. And then
Luckily, you know that knowledge.
Yes.
I didn't know that
Yeah,
knowledge, so I
and
went bankrupt and figured it out after. So
Oh,
it's like, not
okay.
bankrupt, but I lost. To be transparent, I lost some investment. So in that sense, for me, the fear was like going after losing so much money like that. You're like, "Fuck, this
Yeah.
again."
Okay,
Not
so
to-
then that's where your life experience, and I think I
Yeah.
haven't experienced obviously that I'm like, okay, I believe in my skills because I can be in any country,
Yeah.
and with the skills that we have, all of us here, we could start from zero and
Absolutely.
probably get to where we're at again or further,
Yeah.
you know. So
Definitely.
For me, it's kind of interesting reflecting back. I think I was raised by my parents with the understanding, or their philosophy was, poverty is next to godliness, and they would avoid money.
yeah,
Yeah.
My
yeah,
dad,
so
Yeah, like money is
pastor.
bad.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So almost from that standpoint of money is the root of all evil. Forgetting that it says the
Yeah.
love
Of
of money
money.
is it.
Yeah.
And so I was raised with that, and so it's taken me years to get to the point to recognize that godliness comes in all forms. You don't have to be poor to be godly.
Yeah, that is so true. And I come across that with my relationships. Like, I have family members that are very religious, and they're like, oh, that's mundane, right? But the love and the worship for money, which a lot of people that are in that poor mindset do, if you give something to somebody that barely has had any money, they're gonna tuck it away somewhere, right? That's greed. They don't want it to go anywhere.
Yes, it is.
Or
But
you
the
spend
what-
it in one shot.
Yes, but the wealthy, they risk it because they're so detached from it. You know what I mean? That they're like, I'll make that investment. It's a calculated, hopefully, investment where, you know, the risk is calculated. But I think that's why a lot of people have that mindset that they think that it's worshiping when it's complete opposite.
Yeah, I think everything can go back to like any limiting belief is based in fear.
Mm-hmm.
And your limiting beliefs come from whatever you develop to cope from a challenging experience, like what you said in your childhood experience. So like you had to cope by saving as much as you can all the time. But now you're an adult and you're like, I want to be a better business owner and I want to just know how much saving is enough and how much I can start like living my life probably. And so that's the journey with like financial planning that I really love, is like you get to master yourself as a person and like mature using money. But it starts with these beliefs. And so these beliefs that we all talked about here, thank you everyone for sharing, they can manifest as like a pattern of overspending, for example. And so this is for someone who, you know, I deserve to spend, there will always be enough, like if you're good, like the universe, God, you know, whoever will supply all your needs. And like all of these things, like they aren't that bad, but if they're applied in excess, you know, if someone's in a position where they're actually overspending, which is like spending more than you're making, that's not sustainable, you know. So financial disorganization is something I see a lot too, and this is just people like, we all can be guilty of this, of just like not looking at our accounts, not knowing how much is in our balances, and then overdrafting on accident, or not really getting that system down of like transferring it from the business to personal account, or maybe not saving enough for taxes and tax time comes. So that could be somebody who's just like, money isn't important, like it'll all get figured out too, or like it's not nice to talk about money, perhaps, like maybe that's kind of what you were saying too. Being financially stuck, so this is like someone who you want to make more money, but you feel at a threshold where like you've never made more than this, and you don't know if you can ever make more than this, you don't know how to make more than that. And it's kind of interesting, this one, because it's like money is bad and I don't deserve money, like what I have to value isn't like worthy of money, but also like this belief of like money will give my life meaning, which too much attachment to that too is like not good. So and all of these, like not really a judgment, it's just like moving in the direction of healthy and like building the life you want. And then lastly, not enough money scarcity mindset. So more money will make things better, but also just like this endless hamster wheel that there's never enough money. So I'm guilty of these things. Like I'm a financial coach. It's very humbling because it's like I have to work on this. I can't teach people things that I don't go through. And my experience, like I came from a family that my dad was a financial advisor, so it was like very much like this is what's good. Like this is be good girl money life, you know. And I found myself in this place where I was just like, yeah, I did all the right money things, but I'm not happy with my life. So there's got to be more to like advance this money way. Like there's got to be more than the story my parents told me, you know. So how can we transform our beliefs? So first is to notice where the outdated belief is coming up. And a few of you guys mentioned like you've gone through this process before, so you noticed one and you did overcome it. But the thing about it is like there's usually patterns. It's really hard to like just completely transcend the pattern. It's just gonna show up in like bigger and bigger ways in your life as you like start to go to new things, like starting a business and then making more money. The pattern's probably just gonna keep showing up, but it's gonna have a new face. So notice when it's coming up and see it for what it is. Perhaps that happens when you get an unexpected bill, or you're leading like a sales call that you've like, you know, you're pushing a new service that you've never done, or you're reviewing financial accounts. You might notice the belief come up. Get curious and ask yourself, would the version of me that's achieved my dreams on my vision board, would they believe this? And really sit with that and try and embody like and believe that you are that version of you that you want to become, and kind of have a dialogue with like that version of me. What would they say to me right now? And then if you have a lot of thoughts, maybe meditate. If not, like, I mean, if you are having a lot of thoughts, actually like go for a walk, get out of your head. If you want to get clear on your thoughts, meditate, and then practice affirming a positive or healthy belief. So you guys, like, you'll be the best creators of what that healthy belief is, but here's a list of some that I wrote. So like for the person that says, I deserve to spend, it's like, I deserve to spend my money today and in the future, which means I need to save for my future self to be able to spend. Sticking to my financial plan and trusting in the universe, God, whatever, my employer, empowers me to always have enough money. Money is neutral. I can use it as fuel to get closer or further from my goals. The universe, God, my employer, has provided endless opportunities and resources for me to use towards my goals. There has always been enough money, and there will always be enough money. That one's powerful.
Yes.
And what I have to offer is innately unique and valuable to the right customer.
That's me, for sure.
Yeah, because I think a lot of issues with money stuff is just like, we just need to change our technique. You know, like you're not like, if you're having challenges making money with your business, it's not because like you should stop doing your business and you don't have anything good to offer. It's just getting like the marketing right. You know, you do that.
See,
Your expenses right too.
Getting your behaviors around money right, which, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So it's more than mindset. Financial success is more than mindset. You know what? I thought about this. You know what they say, like,
that book. Think and Grow Rich, though.
Yes.
they say like the road to hell is paved in good intentions, and I just thought about it, and it's like this, because you can't just have good intentions. You gotta act on the good intentions.
It's so true.
So healthy money beliefs will guide you to make healthier choices, but bold and unprecedented action is required to build wealth. By nature, because you're changing your belief, you're changing your behavior. This is gonna be the first time that you're ever like taking a step in a different way. That's unprecedented and naturally like courageous. So it's big. Like even if it's just saving a little more, like even if it's just 1% more savings, that's huge if you've never done that before. So if you identified with any one of these categories, I wanted to offer some specific techniques. And just so you guys know, I am a certified financial planner, and I've been doing financial planning for like 6 years. I've worked with hundreds of clients, and I've also been on my own personal journey, leaving a firm, starting my own company. Sweet. And I like it is real financially for me.
Yes.
So that's my experience in sharing these techniques with you. So if you're someone who maybe overspends or identifies with that, it's so crucial to review your transactions on a weekly basis if you can. And the point of it is building that practice of starting to review things and be honest with yourself. Do I even want this? Do I need this? Return it if you can. Cancel unnecessary subscriptions. If you are financially disorganized, if this can apply to you, if you can, work with one bank, have one checking account, one savings account, one credit card for your business, and then one for your personal life, and use that to start to streamline things. That's not a one-size-fits-all solution. I understand there's nuance, but if you are disorganized, this is like the easiest way to get all the data in one place. There's of course other softwares and stuff you can use, but this is the easiest way. If you're feeling financially stuck, this is a great time to subscribe to a podcast or a newsletter that talks about money mindset or financial planning, because the more that you're like training your mind and changing like what's in your field of what you can see to be people that are growing and making money, the more you'll believe it's possible for you. Plus you'll learn. If you're someone in like scarcity, not enough money fears, I think this is actually, so this is for people like who typically oversave. I would set up an automatic savings account called like Treat Yourself or something that you put maybe $25 a month in, and once it hits $100, you do something special for yourself, like a spa day or buy a nice outfit for yourself. And if you want to do extra points on that, match it, so what you do for yourself also give away to someone else in the same amount, because that is like the truth of abundance, is like the more you give, the more it comes back to you. Yes. You need to give to yourself and you need to give to others. So
I love that. Can I ask you, for the financially stuck, you subscribe to a podcast. Do you have any recommendations?
Yeah, I will send you guys recommendations after this, because I don't have them off the top of my head. I have a newsletter that I personally write on Substack, and it's a lot about like reimagining what wealth is. So I'll share that with you, and then I'll share some podcasts too.
That'll be awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So, okay. Here's some like non-negotiables for everyone in this room. You gotta save for taxes and you gotta save for your future. So I heard a lot of business owners in the room. Hopefully you're working with a bookkeeper so you understand how much taxes are gonna be. You're gonna have to pay taxes on what you earn from your business. You're gonna pay taxes on what you earn from your employer. You might not realize rental income, you'll pay taxes. If you make any distributions from an investment account, like or an IRA or a Roth IRA, not a Roth, maybe a Roth, or a 401k, you'll have to pay taxes. If you sell crypto, or if you sell stock, you'll pay taxes on that. property sales if you sell a house. So you might not realize all that, and you might not be thinking about saving for taxes. So save for taxes, like if you're a business owner, save for taxes every month so you don't even get used to paying for it. Save for your future, emergency savings account. That, it's so easy. Like, just save for an emergency savings. Like, it's not complicated. That will save your life, because that's going to prevent you from going into credit card debt when the unexpected happens. Like, I was just in a car accident, hit and run. Wasn't expecting that. Now it's like a $700 deductible that I have to pay. Well, thank God I have my savings. You know, if I didn't, it would be credit cards probably. So your emergency savings should be 3 to 6 months of your fixed expenses. So that's like rent, car payment, all that kind of stuff. 3 to 6 months. So if that's like $20,000, that's how much your goal should be for emergency fund. Retirement savings, so you guys are business owners, a lot of people in the room, you could save to an IRA or a Roth IRA, or you can set up an investment account with your business. You could set up a SEP IRA or a solo 401k, and you could talk to me or an accountant about more info on that, but don't sleep on that. That's tax deferred savings. Like, think about it, if you pay like 20% income tax and don't have to pay that on your income, and you could save it for retirement, do it. Like, why not? Like, that's a no-brainer. And then big purchases in the next 5 to 10 years, because probably something on your vision board looks like a new car or a new house. You're gonna need to save that probably in a taxable investment account or in a high yield savings account. And so you'll wanna be budgeting like, okay, if I wanna put 100,000 down on a house, or okay, let's say 50,000 down on a house, how much will I need to save annually for 5 years? 10,000 a year. Okay, how much do I need to save monthly for that? Try and put that in. Okay. Oops, I went back. Oh, beware of lifestyle creep. I don't know if you guys know this term, but essentially it's the more that you make, the more that you spend. Because are you aware of it? Like, are you familiar with that?
Yeah, I went real fast. I made a lot of money real fast, real young, and I spent a lot of it.
And what was that experience like?
Amazing, but it hit me real hard. You can't keep living like that.
Yeah.
I think I was 21, making $100,000 a year.
Wow, amazing.
So that hit hard. And you get a $15,000 bonus, you go travel. Well, I don't know where that $15,000 is now, but yeah.
Somebody else's hands, I can tell you that right now.
It's so easy, like, we're being sold something all the time. It's like so tempting. You think you're gonna get a feeling from it, and like, I'm not one to say like you should live an austere life and like have ugly clothes and stuff. Like, treat yourself. But yeah, where'd the 15,000 go? How nice would that be if I was in a like investment account growing at 7% a year? So
so much crypto.
Yeah, or that. So how do you do this? Like, as your income increases, you increase your savings. And like the retirement account with your business is like a great way to do that, because it's the tax deferred savings for your future. But if you don't have that, a high yield savings account. So if you earn 5% more, save 5% more. Make sure to like upgrade your life a little bit, but live like within your means. And if you get a big bonus, like pay off any debt that you have.
Yes.
Car loan, credit cards. That's pretty much it. Mortgages are like, if your mortgage, if you have high interest.
Go on vacations.
Yeah. Well, so when you come from a background where you grew up with nothing, and then instantly you can buy everything you could ever want, you go and do it. Eventually, but it comes with backfires. But yeah.
So, good thing you learned at 21.
I learned that
like,
real young, because
Yeah.
I've always had a high income for my age, but we're always a high achiever in whatever field I was at. So yeah.
So what have you found now? Like, if you set goals, like what is it that you really want? Like, what do you know is like actually makes you happy when you spend?
My money actually goes to like, cause I used to buy drugs a lot, right?
Okay.
So
There you go.
So I wouldn't hesitate spending $300 on a Friday night. Now I'll spend $300 on an investment account.
Yeah.
I'd rather put that and watch it grow than watch it just disappear.
Totally.
So yeah.
Go up in
I love
smoke.
the honesty.
They go up in smoke.
Right.
So
I mean, is there like a similar dopamine hit to like whatever drug
my
you were doing
dopamine hit
and
now,
what?
it's like
Like,
I have
it's
confidence in
rough.
myself. So like my money's going to somewhere where it's not gonna just burn like that. It's actually gonna provide value for my life.
Yeah.
So that's where I get Yeah, and I can actually spend money. Like I used to hesitate even buying a $20 sweater. I was like, that's $20 I can spend it on drugs. Now I see a sweater, I go buy it. So I was like, okay, I feel good because I didn't hesitate. I didn't think about what else I could do with this money. I was like, oh, I could just buy a nice little sweater.
Right.
It's a good feeling to not have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Most people worry about buying certain things. Like,
yeah.
That's the scarcity aspect of it. So it's like being able to be like, okay, I can spend this without even a second thought in your head is always a good idea.
Oh, like gas.
Making sure you protect it is also like the best part about that.
Like when I go to the gas station, I don't care what the gas price is.
Yeah.
Just go put gas. But I used to stress about what's the price of gas today. No, just pull up, leave, man. But that's one of the biggest.
Coast, I promise you'll be talking.
Yeah. No, I see that. I ain't even going near that place. I don't even like that place.
Like, you won't be saying the same shit.
No, but I
$8
think
a gallon tank is gonna fucking.
my friend puts it nicely. It's like you're worried about the sprinkles when it's like a pile of shit that you're eating.
Yeah.
It's like like you're focused on like the tiniest thing. Like investing $300 is what gives you your confidence because you know that the power of that is way more powerful than like whatever you do with $20.
Yeah.
But that's how we feel confident in our plan is we know we're saving for our future, and that's why you've got to start save for taxes, save for your future.
Working on
Then
that.
with what's in between, treat yourself a little bit for the now and make sure that your living expenses are manageable. You don't want to get yourself in such a high fixed expense thing like owning a house that maybe is too expensive for you. So thanks for sharing your story.
I am sober, by the way. If anyone's curious, I am 6 months sober now. So.
Yeah.
I'll put the Bud Lights away if you want.
Yeah, no, I actually can be around stuff like that. I
Kidding.
used to not be able to be around stuff like that.
One day at a time. Right?
One day at a time, yeah.
Just today.
Just today, yeah. Trust me, it's an ever-fighting battle, but yeah, just today.
Yeah, well, I actually work with a lot of clients who have addiction-ish pasts with addiction, and we talk a lot about sobriety with money, And as we get to the next slide, you think about it with people who have addictions, like let's say to alcohol, not having alcohol around them really helps.
Yeah.
And that's the power of when we automate with our financial plan. So we might have the best intentions, right? But if we automate it when we're all like feeling high about our intentions, then we don't have to worry about it when, Tuesday hits and I'm like, I'd rather have a sweater than save for my investments. So automation is like the biggest thing I would say. Does anyone do automated savings? How do you do it?
I do a percentage of every single income. I do about 10 to 15%.
Nice. And you put it in like a savings account?
Right now I'm doing it at a brokerage, so I'm kind of investing
nice.
everything. Just trying to stack
Solid.
it up a little bit.
Nice.
The market's
nice.
up. I should.
Yes.
Oh, time to rebalance.
I do.
Yeah, gotta,
I do automated investments.
Okay.
So like we flip houses, right? So every time we flip, most of it is going into the next investment.
Sure.
So there's only enough for expenses if we need it, because there's other sources of income.
Right.
But most of it is, somewhere growing.
Nice.
So.
Well, it's good to automate into like a high yield savings account because I love that you're doing the brokerage, because obviously more growth. But the risk in that is if there is a market crash, your business is probably also going to be affected. So not only will you lose your investments, your income will probably be affected. So that's the time when you're going to need cash more than ever. So cash really empowers me. I mean, this whole year that I've been a business owner, it's helped me to make like more strategic decisions because I saved like a year's worth of cash for this year transition.
Right.
So automating to a high yield savings account, if anyone's not doing that, I think that's a great first step. And one thing you might not realize is there's non-recurring but predictable expenses like your car registration, maybe your auto insurance, property taxes, new cell phone. Like cell phones are like $1,000. I save $25 a month for a new cell phone, and I've never like had to worry about ever having a new phone. And $25 is like nothing. That's like one meal a month. So you could get fun with it. Like literally, whatever you put your intentions to and automate it with your savings, like it's going to happen. How will it not happen? Unless you like go and automatically like go and turn it off. But why would you do that?
That happens.
Where do you put the like micro funds, you know, to like so your cell phone and your insurance and all that stuff? Like, where do you put them?
I work with Capital One online bank. They actually just had a settlement. I don't know if you heard about that, but I've actually worked with them for like 10 years. They're a really good bank. Capital One. It's they're fine if there's a $0 balance in the account. Sometimes banks charge you a fee for that. No fees. Decent interest rate. So I like Capital One. You could also do Ally Bank. And what's nice about Ally is you open one account and they allow you up to 10 different buckets in that one account. So like when you go to tax time, it's just one account, but when you go on ally.com, it could be like 10 buckets. So
sweet.
Yeah.
That's a
You
good
also
one.
hear that their savings account has a high yield. Like,
Yeah, it's pretty good.
because I mean, banks don't really give you more than like. I mean, depends how much money you're going to bring in there.
It's probably like 3.5% right now. Right, and if you want the highest high yield rates, I recommend a company called Raisin. It's called like, oh, you know it?
Sounds familiar.
Okay. Yeah,
Can you spell that?
it's like raisin, like the fruit or whatever.
Okay.
It's like the dried fruit raisin, but it's like raisin rates, you know.
Oh.
Yeah, dried fruit. Yeah.
I don't know.
But they don't allow the buckets. But I use Raisin as kind of like my cash pile for like my emergency fund because I made like $800 in interest alone from the bank account last year, and because it was about 5%. So Raisin, or there's like CDs, money market funds. You don't like CDs? Because it's locked up.
Yeah, it's locked up for like 5
There's
years.
some no penalty CDs, but yeah, I get you guys.
Sorry.
No. I mean, like, here's the thing about money, it's like, there's no, like, one expert, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we're all kind of, like you said, we're all helping each other, and what I bring is, like, since it's my job, I see so many people doing it, you know, all the time. I'm, like, focused on it, so I can kind of tell you succinctly, like, Raisin is, like, totally the best for high interest. Also, the reason why Raisin looks at all the banks out there in the world, and you open an account with Raisin, but technically your account is with a different bank, and they're all FDIC and insured. So if that bank changes their rate, like, you can switch to another bank and you can stay all at Raisin. So it's kind of like an investment account for cash, almost. Like,
That's cool.
yeah. So I close with this: financial freedom is created through healthy mindset and positive action. So
Yes.
maybe think about it, guys. What is one thing that you want to change? Maybe you know one type of action. It's probably the thing you've been avoiding. Maybe that's probably the thing you need to do.
Get an account.
And then go back to the mindset of like, why have I been avoiding this? What do I believe? And then come into your higher self and just be like,
Question: does anybody ever avoid things that know it's gonna help them? Do
yeah.
you know, like, if you do this one thing, it's you know it's gonna help you?
You don't want to drop the money on it. You gotta be transparent. Like, you're like, "Damn,
No,
you wanna
no,
drop
I'm saying, like,
$15
For me,
I-
it's a budget. I'm like, I hate budgets.
No, well, yeah, just like that. But like, I've known in my whole life, I know exactly what I gotta do to succeed. But I've always stopped myself from doing it. Well, eventually slap myself and say, "Go do that shit, homie." Like, I got this shit. But eventually, it takes me. Sometimes I'm trying to. My life process is to close the gap on how long it takes. Because it took like right now, my biggest thing in my life is sobriety. It took me 2.5 years of me constantly saying every day, "I want to get sober. I want to get sober. I want to get sober." Until one day I had enough. It took me 2.5 years. I said, I'm sober. And then with the 6 months I've been sober, my life has changed 360 degrees. Now I can't change the past. I can't say, well, if I would have done this way sooner, my life would have been. No, it had to happen. It was for a reason. But I'm trying to close the gap on how long it takes me to do the things that I know I should be doing.
Right.
And actually do this. Like,
That's fear, homie.
yeah, that's one thing. But that's how I know it. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
how I
so
know
it's
it's worth. It has value. Because the minute I'm afraid of something, it's because it's gonna bring nothing but value to my life.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, I said this, like, taking action is like the best way to eliminate regret. You know, and it's like, do you want to have regret or do you want to make a mistake? You know, like, I think, like, it's balance, of course, but yeah, just taking one. I just tell myself one thing every day. I push myself on one way every day.
Yeah.
And I get to pick, you know, so not every day is easy. Okay, I won't do the hard thing, but
you talk about action, one of the best books I've ever read is called The Magic of Thinking Big.
Mm.
And the key takeaway from that book is action conquers fear.
Yeah.
That's it.
And if you have massive fear, you have to take massive
I
action.
love
Yeah,
that.
Right.
Yeah, you just can't think about it. You just gotta go.
No, that's what I started doing. Anything like it's kind of bad and good. Like if I'm thinking I should probably do that, I'm gonna do it. Like lately, I see somebody over the road, they need help. I'll literally do a 360 and say, "Hey, you good? You need some help?" And I've been able to help 2 people out the last 2 days.
I
Just-
love that.
Yeah.
What? That's amazing.
Yeah, just because
Amazing.
I thought I was like, I should probably ask if it needs help. Like, no, they're probably not gonna want my help. Probably gonna yell at me, tell me fuck off or something like that. I was like, no, how about you just ask? I was like, so I asked, like, yeah, I would love your help. I gotta help two people and just be like, oh, I changed somebody's day because I wasn't afraid to ask.
That's so
So
cool.
yeah, just take
That's
a little bit
awesome.
of actions.
Well, the other interesting thing about doing that, Yair, is if you just kept driving, you're taking away their choice. But you turn around and offer
Yeah,
help,
yeah, that's what I'm
so now they have a choice.
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
That's
They,
a good
they
way.
could refuse you, or they could accept it. But if you just keep driving, you take away their choice.
Yeah, no, yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
Same thing has to do with risk. Like, worst thing's gonna happen is you're gonna lose.
And I'm gonna get up and go do it again. Like that's one thing I'm good at. Knock me down 1,000 times, I get up 1,001 times. It don't
The
matter.
lesson you learn.
Yeah.
I think that's for, especially like honestly, to be like transparent to the relationships with me and Kid. I met her here in Des Moines when I first moved here.
Oh,
And
cool.
something she's taught me along this relationship we've had thus far is not only being a risk taker, but also understanding the risk that you take. It's always gonna have consequences,
Mm-hmm.
and not being afraid to. It's okay. Like
Yeah.
you know, the idea is to eliminate the fear. Once you eliminate the fear, then the options are endless.
Yeah, I had to learn. I'm not perfect. Like if I make a mistake, I'm gonna make a mistake, but I'm gonna learn from it.
Right.
And a lesson is more valuable than money.
Yeah.
That's what I've learned in my life.
Let's say you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Totally. And that being said, money is very convoluted, and there's totally people that want to like scam you with money and stuff too. And so I think there's totally value to like learning some stuff financially.
Yeah.
Everyone here has done that in some way. There's like financial professionals in the room, so you guys all kind of know what you're talking about. But if you do want to go deeper, I offer a few things. I'm offering a money mastery club, which is a monthly 3-month engagement, and we're gonna go kind of deeper into everything I talked about today. Really clarifying the goal, clarifying what steps do you need to take, like specific to your situation. Like I heard you say budgeting. It's like, I get that. Budgeting kind of doesn't work for anyone, but how do we make a budget that works for you, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm hosting it with my friend who's based in California, and what's also cool about her is she's trauma of money certified, so there's actually a certification.
What's that? Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's not like a known thing, trauma of money. It's like a certification around like understanding the traumas that people have with money, and mostly like traumas of like capitalism and like how that imparts on us as kids, and how do we work within capitalism too to liberate ourselves.
Yeah, I definitely have that.
Yeah, so she's super awesome, and we're doing it together, and that starts in February. And then I also do business bookkeeping because I'm passionate about business owners, like being super clear on what you're doing and knowing how much you owe in taxes, and also like being better business owners. And then I do money mindset and financial planning, one-on-one work. So thank you so much, everyone. This has been amazing.
Thank
you.
Here's my info, and then I will get back to you with
Hold up.
resources.